Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, and today we're going to practice speaking English with a story in English. This is an advanced level story, so it may be a little bit challenging for intermediate students. But don't worry, I have other stories for other levels. This story is about a professor who thought he had seen it all, but he was wrong. This story is called The Professor Who Thought He Had Seen It All. A professor was giving a lecture in his class, and as he looked at the rows of attentive faces gazing up at him, he smiled to himself. He had been a teacher for over 30 years now, and during that time he had taught hundreds of thousands of students. When he arrived at the conference, he was surprised by the number of people there. There were professors and researchers from all over the world. The audience stood up and cheered for several minutes. Distinguished colleagues, esteemed guests, and fellow scholars, thank you, he said, beaming. At that moment, the professor knew that he had done something special. He had proven to himself that he could do things he never thought possible. And as he looked out at the sea of smiling faces, he knew that he would never forget this day. After introducing himself to some colleagues, he went to the registration table. How did the professor feel when he received the note? Step no. 1. Read the story again and write down the new words. Step no. 2. Tell the story to yourself in English. Step no. 3. Tell the story to a friend or family member. Step no. 4. Record yourself telling the story. Now compare your video to mine. How are you doing? If you are not at this level yet, keep practicing and you will get there. How did he feel when he gave his speech? How do you think the students felt when they saw the note? If you want to receive our free monthly newsletters, click here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Why do you think the professor was hesitant to give the speech? What advice would you give to the professor? Would you accept the invitation? What do you think? Excuse me, he said to the person behind the counter. Where can I give my presentation? The woman looked at him and replied, You are not scheduled to give any presentations today. The professor was stunned, but I was told that I was supposed to give a presentation today. He said, That's impossible, the woman replied. We have no record of your presentation. At that moment, the professor felt a surge of panic. What was he going to do? He had traveled all this way and had nothing to present. Just then, a man approached him. Are you the professor from our university? He asked. Yes, replied the professor. I was told to give a presentation today, but they say I'm not on the schedule. Ah, yes, I remember now, said the man. You are supposed to give the opening speech. The professor's heart skipped a beat. He had never given an opening speech at a conference before. In fact, he had never given any speech in his life. He had seen it all, or so he thought. He knew that he couldn't let his colleagues down. As the time for his speech approached, he began to prepare. He thought about what he wanted to say and how he wanted to say it. He knew that he didn't have much time, so he had to make every minute count. When it was time for him to speak, he walked onto the podium and faced the audience. He could feel their eyes on him, but he tried his best to ignore them. He took a deep breath and began to speak. Distinguished colleagues, esteemed guests, and fellow scholars, he began. The audience leaned forward, eager to hear what he had to say. He spoke about the importance of the conference and the need for scholars from around the world to come together. He talked about the progress that had been made in various fields of study and the challenges that remained. He also shared his own research findings, which were met with nods of approval and murmurs of admiration. As he spoke, the professor felt a sense of confidence growing inside him. He had never realized how much he enjoyed public speaking until now. Naughty students, bored students, distracted students, sleeping students. He had dealt with them all. As the semester progressed, the professor continued to smile. Each day when he walked into his lecture hall, it brought back memories of similar classes he had taught in the past. The material he taught was fascinating and he knew it well. His students' reactions were always the same. They would listen attentively, then start taking notes and asking questions. Some would even participate by answering his questions. It seemed like every semester was exactly the same, which suited the professor just fine. However, one day, everything changed. The professor walked into his class one morning and found a note on his desk. It read, "Professor, please excuse yourself from teaching today's class. Your absence will be noted." Confused and somewhat alarmed, the professor went to the department head. "What does this note mean? Should I be teaching the class or not?" he asked. "Oh, that," said the department head with a sigh. "It means you have to take a leave of absence for 1 day due to your outstanding research work. You've been selected to present your work at an international conference in another city. I know it's short notice, but this is an incredible opportunity for you and the university. You must go." The professor was still confused, but he knew that this was an important event, so he decided to go. Taking a deep breath, the professor tried to calm down. After his speech, the professor was met with thunderous applause. Okay, now let's talk about the story. Let's answer these questions. What did the professor think? Now it's time for you to practice speaking English with this story. So follow these steps. If you want more stories, click here. If you want to become fluent faster, click here.